All right, here we are on the boys' trip, heading up north. Got a couple guys in the car, and I've got one big question for the both of them. Who wants to go first?
Richard. Sure.
Michael, what's the greatest story ever told?
Aren't I supposed to answer the Bible? Pretty sure I'm supposed to say the Bible. I'm quite partial to the Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
I think the Lord of the Rings.
Why do you think it's the greatest story ever told?
Because despite the fact there's barely any humans in it, it's a very human story. And also when you think about where Tolkien came from, his experiences during World War I, and how you can bring the war back home with you. Even those places of peace and quiet and happiness that you have, it never truly leaves you. And, you see the Shire, reminded him of his, home in England, going off to war, and it comes back at the end. It's just, I don't know, it's more poignant when you know where he came from, I feel like. It's a very human story. And again, the story of the hobbits in general, the ending of that, you have this burden pulling you down. You're going to fail, but all it takes is, this unassuming little person can make a massive difference in the world. I think where people feel pretty hopeless and useless in a horrible world that we live in, you're one of 8 billion people, what can you do? I think it's a story that shows, anybody, no matter how small, can have a big difference. And I think it's a wonderful message. So, my favorite story of all time.
And so then it's a message you live by.
It is.
All right. Thank you, Michael. Now, Richard, just as complicated of a question. Ready? What is your favorite color?
Wait a minute. That's not fair.
Fine. Never told. Richard. It can't be the Bible. That's taken by somebody else. Can't be Lord of the Rings. Got to come up with another one.
I don't know about the best, but I'm going to say my favorite.
Favorite story ever told?
I'm going to say Catch-22.
Ooh.
I just think that the characters in them are so unusual, so strange. It teaches a little bit about economics in there, how you can buy something for $6 and sell it for $4 and still make a profit. I think that the story, the characters, people's names, Major, the one pilot who shot down his own pilots to get credit for it, because I think he wasn't shooting enough planes down. It was the only book that I've ever read that I laughed out loud.
Those are like perfect examples. I couldn't have scripted that any better. So, kind of on the same lines, if you were on a desert island and you could only bring one comic book or trade paperback or graphic novel, what would it be?
Infinity Gauntlet.
That's a good choice.
Still my favorite, just because it's the story.
Yeah.
But my story with it was one of those comic books that got me to read better. I read it so much that I memorized the lines. Had to read it to my father. My father read it to me.
I'll just go with Dark Phoenix Saga simply because, it's one of the better X-Men stories and there's a lot to it. There's a lot, it's whereas Infinity Gauntlet's a great choice, but I'd read it in a day, right? Dark Phoenix Saga would take me a couple days. If you're really that bored on a desert island, you can at least get a couple of days out of it. So, and Chris Claremont, there's a lot of words in that one. You get your most bang for your buck, I feel like, with a story like that. So I'll pick that one, sure.
All right, that's phase 1, chapter over. Thanks, guys.
Want to do a thing?
What do you want to do?
I don't know. Just go over here. Well.
Before they end up over in the United States.
Right. And even that is personal illusions. But they're both just beautiful people. So, even historically, a lot of people
It's great to see you. We're back at Enterprize Comics, and some of my favorite people just got married. So we're going to start off with a very easy question. What's the key to marriage?
Communication.
Communication.
Being able to make each other laugh.
Sense of humor. So how long have you guys been together?
10 years.
10 years. And how have you guys stayed together for 10 years? You guys just got married. Lord of the Rings themed wedding. How do you make it work? Because a lot of folks, do you know the divorce rate's up to around 60%?
Ew, yes.
You've already been together for 10 years. Yeah. What's going well? What's going right? Communication. Elaborate. Anything you want. Not to put you on the spot.
Yeah. We have a lot in common, obviously. We work together and we live together, and we both enjoy like D&D and Lord of the Rings and all the nerdy stuff that we get into. But we also give each other space for our own own things and own time.
Our own friends.
Our own
and
friends.
Do you find that your friends come to you for advice?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
we're the, almost like the parents of the group. They're like, hey, I have an issue. Can I talk to you about it? And we're like, yeah, okay, sure.
So what do a lot of other couples come to you for advice? Obviously, lack of communication.
Lack of communication.
Yeah, I would say that's the main thing that, like,
Explaining what their personal needs are and kind of putting those on the back burner for their partner when they really need to be taking care of themselves as well.
but definitely self-care.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you can't really take care of anybody else until you take care of yourself first.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. We sometimes have to force each other to like actually take a day off and be like, okay, you need to actually sit here and rest and enjoy something and not worry about things in the house.
So if he's having a bad day, what do you do?
Make him his favorite food. Maybe just be like, you can just relax on the couch and play your favorite video game, and I'll just like take some time to myself, and you can just have some time alone.
And what would you do?
I most of the time try to like set her up to have self-care, draw a bath or give her book, and take care of like the cooking and the cleaning and everything, and give her space to kind of relax on your own accord rather than try to force relaxation upon you using my terms, which are different than what you need for relaxation.
Okay, what are 2 words that you could use to sum up your partner?
Selfless.
He's getting misty.
I know! It's just like the wedding all over again.
Yeah.
Kind.
Selfless and kind. Yeah. And if you can.
Yeah. Gosh. Caring beyond words. Probably shouldn't use this word, but perfect for me.
You're so cute. Don't be afraid to have both the big talks and the little talks. If something a little annoys you, you can talk about it. It doesn't have to be a big issue.
Yeah, I'll reiterate that. Don't be afraid to have the big talks and the small talks about everything. Don't make a mountain out of a molehill, but also don't be afraid to go to your partner and be like, hey, this affected me today, and I want to talk to you about it.
Congratulations, you guys. You gotta be
Thank you so much.
And then there's books like I feel like everyone should read, like Animal Farm.
George Orwell. I was just about to say 1984.
yeah,
Animal
1984.
Farm. Fahrenheit
Everyone has to read
457.
those books,
Yep.
and they're poignant all the time.
Other books that people should read. Anybody vote War and Peace?
You're joking. No one has that much time for War and Peace.
Have you read it?
I tried.
Me too.
It's good.
I think classic books should not be made into movies.
Well, you can't. They really can't. That's why they're adaptations, and they always fall short.
I think The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit did, even though The Hobbit deviated a lot with it. But I think that those did great. But I think that other American and English classics, Beowulf just should not be made into movies.
No, some just don't translate.
All right, worst adaptation ever made.
I'll say like The Hobbit deviated so much, but it was still a great trilogy of movies from Peter Jackson.
See, for me, I would nitpick Hobbit. And that's not going to be my choice, but the reason is that's a movie where it shows everything wrong with adapting things. Like, it's such an overindulgence. They added tons of stuff that's not in the book, which is, I know that's a very nerdy, be like, oh, it wasn't in the book, but they added so much stuff it actually takes away from the core story entirely, and it's just a distraction. The whole time I was watching it, I'm like, let me put it this way, Lord of the Rings, despite the fact it's not completely, true to the original source, which it can't, they did a great job with the feel of it. There's parts of it I don't like because they added it, but the feel of it is gorgeous. The music, all that is fantastic. And it's probably my favorite movies of all time. I consider it one big movie. But The Hobbit is some of my least favorite movies of all time. Same guy, same aesthetic. It's because they just did too much. They didn't adapt Tolkien's story. They made up their own. That's the difference. There's a difference between adapting it and having to change a couple things here and there to make it filmable, and there's another thing entirely from just, we're going to make up our own stuff to make it look cool on the screen. Why do that? And so that's all I talk about. I'm happy you brought that one up.
Thank you for that.
I think the best book to movie adaptations is One Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest and Jurassic Park.
You brought up Michael Crichton's Sphere.
Oh, yeah, that was bad.
Dustin Hoffman.
I love that book too.
Yeah, me too. I read the book and then I saw the movie.
That's a hard story to adapt, though. That's another one where you need to leave a little bit to the imagination of how it's working and stuff.
Yes. Yeah, your time in China, do you feel like you missed a lot here?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you gain?
In China.
Yeah.
I always say going to China is like going to a different planet than going to a different country. They're so different over there, in a good way.
You do a lot of things that people only talk about. You lived in China. You invented an invention that saves children. Like, I don't know why you read comics. You're like your own superhero.
It's a distraction.
So you can go back and save the world.